What is going on, people? As you can tell by the title, this is a little something different. I'm not reviewing anything. I'm actually, like I said before, I'm going to try to go through my entire collection piece by piece by piece and kind of show it off. Not only do I do reviews, but this, I guess, will be a collection overview video. So the thing I decided to start with is something I haven't done in about 4 years, and my collection has grown since then. If you couldn't tell by the title, this will be my entire Disney collection in, my collection. Anyway, I want to get into this really quick because I got a lot of movies over here. It's grown tremendously since the last time I did it, so let me get into it. But first, like I've been saying the past couple videos with this whole YouTube thing, if you like what you see and you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Not only do you need 1,000 subscribers, you need a lot of minutes watched, and I'm not even close to that. So if you would like to, if you enjoy what you see, just watch the entire video. Let people know I'm out here, and I'm trying to see if I can reach that goal. If not, I'll continue to do these videos, but it'll be nice. So let me get into it. Like I said, I got a whole bunch of movies. The first thing I want to show you is probably about 10 years ago when I really got, it was like 15 years ago, but 10 years ago, I ended up buying a gigantic Disney box set that they had in, I believe it was China or Japan or something like that. It came with 120 movies in it for $140. The only problem is, at that point, it came in this big tin that the thing was dented to like all hell by the time it got to me. But each movie, they came in its own plastic sleeve. It didn't come with a case, which again wasn't the greatest, but I'm not going to complain when I've got it for such, overall you get 120 movies for $140 or whatever it came to. You're not going to get that anywhere else. So that's what I did. I ended up buying that whole box set, and I put them all in here. And every single one's in here. Like I said, it's got most of the, main ones except for the newest ones that came out since. But pretty much what it was is you would get the movie, and it would have, the cover art for it, which was cool. And then it would be numbered. And then on the box, it would tell you which movie is each number. The only problem with this as well is the fact that the movie itself came in like Chinese lettering, and you couldn't tell which is like the play button or the special features, if there was any or whatever. But overall, like I said, I'm not a complainer. If I can get a movie cheap and it just plays the movie, I'm good with it. I love special features, but if it doesn't come with any, the movie's fine with me. So that is one part of it. A lot of these movies, since I've had this, I've gotten in other ways, such as Blu-ray or DVD or something like that. So that is about 120 movies. The other ones too, they came with like they would have the best of, where you get the best of Donald Duck cartoons, or the best of Chip and Dale, or the best of Mickey, or the best of Goofy, or whatever. And those were their own discs, along with Tom and Jerry for some reason. I don't understand why Tom and Jerry was there, but pretty much you would get the original. And then you would get the sequels too, like Cinderella has Cinderella 1, 2, and 3, and then Bambi has 1 and 2, and all that. So this was, my biggest purchase, but it had the most movies in it, which, to tell you the truth, I haven't sit down and watched in a long time. But anyway, what I'm going to do, I broke it down into different parts for this whole update. I got my cartoons/TV shows for Disney. Then I got my Disney DVDs. Then I got Disney movies without slipcovers, and then Disney movies with slipcovers. Don't mind me if I take a sip of water throughout this video, because I'm going to be talking a lot and I've been somewhat stuffy. So anyway, let me get into this. The first thing I'm going to show off, like I said, is Disney cartoons, and the first one that I have here is Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. It starts, Chip and Dale were the two mischievous little freaking chipmunks that would annoy the shit out of Darkwing Duck, out of Donald Duck. I'm getting ahead of myself. Out of Donald Duck, and they were annoying. But in this, they turned crime-fighting duo. They now, solve crimes and help people with the help of Gadget, who's a little mouse that knows a way around computers and stuff. Then you get the muscle of the group, which is Monterey Jack, who's addicted to cheese. And then you get his little helper, which is a little fly named Zipper. Then you get your evil people. You have Fat Cat and his henchmen. You got a whole bunch of people. So they go from annoying little chipmunks to crime-fighting heroes. So who would have thought? So then, like I said, I got ahead of myself, and Darkwing Duck is next up, and it seems like, to tell you the truth, as I'm going through this list, you're going to see that a lot of the cartoon shows are actually like heroes, like crime-fighting heroes. So Darkwing Duck is along those lines. You have a character who's in two different cartoons. You have Launchpad in here. You got Darkwing Duck, who then adopts a young girl named Webigail, who now not only does he have to worry about her, he has to deal with all his henchmen, or like his adversaries, like Megaduck. There's Megavolt, and then there's some people that kind of just, I don't remember their names. If you remember their names, let me know in the comments. But you got like a dog that has the power with water. You got a doctor that turns into a plant. You got a jester, I forget his name, but now it's Darkwing Duck against all these people with Webigail and Launchpad, who half of the time is messing him up rather than helping him out. This I didn't know was Disney until I got it, and it says Walt Disney on it, because this show is a little out there, and I don't know if I don't want to say it wasn't suitable for kids, but the premise was a little different. It's like a dinosaur family, and that's dinosaurs. With Not the Mama and all that stuff, but it's something I did not know would have been put out by. But Disney puts out a lot of stuff that with this whole universe and stuff, like buying the Marvel and all this stuff. There was a lot of stuff that I did not know Disney has its hands in, and stuff you might not realize. But anyway, this is Walt Disney, the dinosaurs. The next one is another. Well, I don't want to say they're crime-fighting family, but they get themselves into horrible situations, but they have the group of family. One of my favorite cartoons of all time, and that is DuckTales. You have Scrooge McDuck and then Huey, Dewey, and Louie, who are Donald Duck's nephews, who now to live with their, I guess it would be their great uncle or great grandfather or whatever it is. You get a little girl named Webigail, and then you have Launchpad McQuack again in this, who again pretty much messes everything up that he touches. And then you get the nanny, and you get a whole slew of evil people. The Bugle, is it the Bugle Boys? I think so. And another rich guy, I forget his name, but this overall is a fun show. A lot of episodes. I did not realize how many there were. I think there's another volume out there. I could be wrong. But that's DuckTales. Here's one that a lot of people did not know, but this is probably my favorite out of the cartoons. It is The Adventures of the Gummy Bears. This is where they have gummy berry juice. And another one where this is taking place in like medieval times with the knights and all that stuff. But it's about bears who drink this juice and bounce everywhere. And they're pretty much, there to help out the humans in any way they can. So that's the Gummy Bears, which like I said, not a lot of people know about. This is another show that kind of pulled people or characters from a movie and made them, again, I guess, crime fighters. This is Tailspin. Tailspin has Baloo from, a lot of it's from the Jungle Book. You have Baloo, you have King Louie, you have Shere Khan's in it, you have a slew of new people, like a young sidekick. I believe it's Kit, if I remember right. And then you have, I can't think of the woman's name. And then there's a little girl. And then you have this, like, French fox that, messes everything up. I forget every single character in this, but I remember liking a lot. And this is one that I hardly remember. And it's one because there was only, I believe, 6 episodes of this. And it was a cartoon from my childhood. And I ended up finding it at a convention. Some guy, I guess, ripped it off the TV or something like that. But I ended up buying it. I remember it vaguely. It's got 13 episodes. I thought it was less. But it's a mixed match of animals, It's called the Wuzzles. This is where it's like there's like a lion as a bumblebee, that little thing in the corner, and then you have like an elephant who's something, and a hippo, and it's just all these like mixed up, mashed up creatures. But supposedly they only have one season because some guy made it up, and then I don't know if Disney stole it from him or something like that. But I found this at a convention, so I thought I'd buy it. So that's the TV show part of the collection. This is the ones that I have on DVD that I don't know if there's a Blu-ray release, but I only have it on DVD. The first one is Blank Check. This is where the young kid gets hit or his bike gets run over. He's going somewhere quick. Some guy runs over his bike. Pretty much signs a check, is in a rush, and that's all he does. He just signs a check, hands it over to the kid, and the kid ends up putting a dollar amount in there, and I guess he's like, oh, let me just put what you think the bike is worth, I think the guy said. And he ends up putting $1 million on the check. And let's just say, even for the time here, I don't think the $1 million would have got him that much stuff. Like, he bought a house and like all these trinkets and toys and like go-karts and all this stuff. I don't think $1 million would have got you that much. Plus, you know, it's I forget when it was, early 90s, but again, I don't think $1 million would have got you that much. But then the guy comes after him. The next one is The Big Green. This is, I guess, trying to be along the lines of like Sandlot and stuff like that. It's pretty much a dwindling soccer team that I guess it's losing funding for it from the school, and they have to find a way to keep it together. It's got a lot of people from the Sandlot in it. It's got what's his name? Pam Porter, and then it's got Squints over in this corner. But you know, it was all right. Not up there with the echelons of like Little Giants and stuff, but it held its own. I got Bolt here, where the dog thinks he's an actual superhero. He plays it on in a show. This one is very disturbing. The Brave Little Toaster. And when I want to say disturbing, it's because when you're younger, you don't expect to see a talking toaster, a talking lamp, Blanky, a talking vacuum, and a radio and all that stuff. It's got the voices of a lot of bigger actors, but pretty much these group of characters, their owner leaves them, and they don't know where he went, so they go looking for him. Very interesting movie. There's some scenes in this that actually scared me, with like the air conditioner and all this stuff. Remember that scene if you've ever seen it. This one, A Bridge to Terabithia. This is where they cross this bridge, or this bridge. It's more like a swing that they cross, and they end up in a different world, almost like a Bedknobs and Broomsticks. They got Lion Witch in the Wardrobe kind of deal, but this is a little bit different. It's all right. I don't remember the exact thing, but the other one is Brother Bear. This I don't remember much about it, but to add, there's a lot of movies in here that I'm just added to the collection to add. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. Cool Runnings, about a Jamaican bobsled team. John Candy is the coach, and it's them trying to make it through. Jamaica's known for a lot of summer things and sun and brightness and warmth. It's not known for bobsledding. One of my favorite movies of all time. Enchanted, this is where a cartoon gets transported to the real world, and in cartoons and Disney movies, it's all fun and free and everybody's happy. Well, this cartoon gets transferred into New York City and learns that real life is not that way. One of my favorites too, Flight of the Navigator, where the kid gets kidnapped from a spaceship, and he's in space and such. I always wanted to ride in a spaceship after that. This kind of is the absent-minded professor kind of deal, Flubber with Robin Williams, where he creates this little glob that comes to life and such, and they use it for all these different things. Fun and Fancy Free. This is one that it has a bunch of different shorts in it. My favorite being Mickey and the Beanstalk, but it's got a whole bunch of little shorts in it. That's one that not a lot of people knew about. George of the Jungle. This is Brendan Fraser's I believe one of his first movies around the time of like The Mummy and such. But it's pretty much the cartoon come to life. Another one that as all my movies go all over the place, one that I love, a Goofy movie. This is where Goofy wants to take his son on vacation because he did something at school, and the principal's like he's going to go end up in jail, so Goofy wants to take him where his father went, but there's a concert going on that Max, his son, told all his friends that he's going to, so he finds a way to get there. What else? We have The Greatest Game Ever Played. This is a golf movie about golf with Shia LaBeouf or Shia, whatever, the crazy guy. This was alright from what I remember. I think I only watched that like once or twice. This is a Disney movie I added just to add it. I did not. There was some TV shows that, as a teenage boy or going into my 20s, I shouldn't have watched that I did. Like Lizzie McGuire, I must say I watched. This was not one that I did not. I just bought the movie, the Hannah Montana movie. This is way before, Miley Cyrus went all freaking like crazy. This is another one with Shia in it, Shia, whatever you want to call it. Holes. This was actually fun. This is where there's a orphanage that the people are evil, and they hear about, I believe it's like a treasure or something hidden in the desert, so they take all the kids at this orphanage and have them dig holes to find it. This is The Incredibles, the one about the superheroes. I believe they're coming out with a second one this year at some point. But Incredibles, where the father is super strong, the mother is super stretchy, the daughter has like telekinetic powers, the other son is quick, and then the baby, I believe, just has a mishmash of all the super strength or super powers, I guess you want to call it. Invincible is with Mark Wahlberg, where he is from Philadelphia, and the Philadelphia Eagles have a tryout for anybody off the street, and he ends up making the team. It's a true story about Vince Papale, I believe the guy's name was. A kid in King Arthur's Court. This kid here was in a lot of the early 90s movies. This is where he's a baseball player, and I believe he gets hit in the head with a pitch or something, and he gets knocked out, and he ends up getting transported to, the medieval times with Merlin and King Arthur and all that, but he still got his mindset from the 90s, so this was pretty fun. Actually, I got that on Blu-ray, so I don't have to show that. Man of the House with Jonathan Taylor Thomas, the heartthrob, the teen heartthrob. Well, at that point, I guess he was a teen at that point in time. Man of the House with Chevy Chase and him. I don't remember this one, to tell you the truth. I get this one mixed up with Jungle to Jungle all the time. But Meet the Robinsons. This is where it's like a futuristic family, and the one kid takes a time machine to find his family, I believe, or something. I forget exactly what this one's about. Monsters, Inc. What could you say about it? Probably one of my favorite movies of all time, where Sully and Mike Wazowski is the guy's name. They work at a plant where the monsters harness the kids' screams for their energy. So you get a group of monsters that come out of the closet, scare the kids, and they collect the screams. So Monsters, Inc., if you haven't seen this one, you're doing yourself a disservice. The Parent Trap. This is a remake with Lindsay Lohan before she went off the deep end, where it's an old adage where two kids, they end up going to a camp, and they realize that they're sisters. They find out that their parents divorced when they were young. The father took one daughter, the mother took the other one. They find themselves, and they're like, well, we want to know about each other's lives. So they switch. They had, like I said, I believe in the 70s they had a one like that. There's actually a second Parent Trap, I believe, too, from that time. Piglet's Big Movie. This, I love anything Winnie the Pooh. I don't exactly remember this. I believe Piglet goes and helps and finds the other characters. Ratatouille. This is where the rat is a cooking connoisseur, I guess you want to call it, and he ends up going into this restaurant, and pretty much helping this chef learn how to cook. Pretty fun movie. Let's see. Recess, School's Out. This is another cartoon that I loved. They just take the movie and again, I think they're against the principal in this one, or the adults or something like that. I think they have a Christmas one as well, which I do not own. Return to Oz. This one is definitely out there. This is a sequel to the original Wizard of Oz. This is where Fairuza Balk's character, I guess she's playing Dorothy, she ends up, telling everybody what happened in Oz, and no one believes her, so they kind of send her to a cuckoo house, and she ends up running away and finding herself back in the world of Oz. But when she gets there, all her friends are now turned to stone, and she finds out there's an evil witch and a gnome king that taken over this place since she's been gone. She ends up finding new friends such as TikTok, Jack the Pumpkin, I believe his name, and then they make this couch or something like that. But they have Tin Man on here for some reason, but he's in the movie for about like 2 seconds. But Return to Oz, very odd movie. This is another one that kind of creeped me out as a kid. There's a scene with severed heads. Just watch it if you haven't. Sky High, about these superheroes that go to high school. It's like in the sky or something like that, and it's a school just for them, almost like a Marvel kind of deal. Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Tom and Huck, Disney's version of Huckleberry Finn. Disney's Up. This one, I don't know why I didn't upgrade it to Blu-ray yet, but this is one of the sadder ones. Well, in the beginning at least, the first scene in this movie is really sad. But Up is about a old man who kept a promise to his wife to go to a I forget what it's called. I don't remember what it's called. Something Falls, but he keeps his promise. They wanted to move there when they got older, and then the people are trying to renovate, so they're trying to kick this guy out of his house. So instead of them knocking the house down, he just puts a bunch of balloons and flies his house away. Like I said, I love Winnie the Pooh, so I had to get the Winnie the Pooh movie, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which I think at this point in time I also have on Blu-ray, but I just never got rid of the DVD. And then this one is a dual pack. It is Homeward Bound and Homeward Bound 2. The first one is definitely, I think, a little bit better than the second one. I don't remember the second one that much, but pretty much revolves around talking animals. Well, they don't talk to people, but they talk to themselves. Chance, Shadow, and Sassy. The pair, like the family, the father gets a job somewhere else, so they can't take the pets with them, so they end up dropping them off at a ranch or something like that, and then they want to go and find the family. And that's about it. So that was the DVDs. Let me get into the Blu-rays. Let me try to speed this up a little bit. This is one I got from the Disney Movie Club. Once you put in the codes that come with the movies, you'll get points, and then you could use the points for movies. Winnie the Pooh and Springtime with the Room. The reason I got a lot of these is because those were the only movies I didn't have at the time. The Tigger movie. Tigger happens to be one of my favorite characters of all time. I'm doing this backwards for some reason, so let me start from the beginning. So the first one is a Christmas Carol. This is Disney's take. They did a few different takes on it. They did like a Mickey's Christmas Carol. Well, this is one with Jim Carrey as the voice of Ebenezer Scrooge. This is a short from Cars. I believe it's only like 25 minutes, and I believe this was like $15. So I'll show you a couple, but they're kind of a ripoff. Mater's Tunes or something like this. I believe it's like 3 or 4 shorts about the guy Mater from Cars. This is the Emperor's New Groove and Kronk's New Groove. I enjoyed these movies for what they were. Weren't, up there for my favorites, but, what could you do? One with The Rock. The Game Plan. where he finds out he's a semi-professional, I believe it's semi-professional, I don't know if it's supposed to be the NFL, but semi-professional football player who his daughter finds a way to get to him that he did not know he had. This is about crime-fighting guinea pigs. G-Force, like the government made these super sophisticated guinea pigs, and they fight crime. So, yeah. One of my favorite movies of all time, Disney or otherwise. Being a fat kid when I was younger, you never really had many movies catered to fat people. Well, this one, Heavyweights, it's about a fat camp that people were supposed to lose weight, but this camp was fun and the kids never lost weight until it's taken over by Ben Stiller's character, Tony Perkins, I believe it is. But he ends up taking over the camp, and the camp goes from being fun to not being fun at all. And in this movie, you have a whole bunch of characters from the Mighty Ducks, which I forgot to take out. I do have the box set of the Mighty Ducks, which has Mighty Ducks 1, 2, and 3 somewhere, and I forgot to take it out. This is Tangled. I'm going backwards again. I'll show that after. This is Hocus Pocus, one that is a holiday must-watch. If you're in the time of Halloween, if you don't watch Hocus Pocus, I don't know what's wrong with you. The Sanderson sisters pretty much wreak havoc in the beginning. They steal the souls of the young kids to stay young. The townspeople kill them, but they set a curse on the town. If there's a virgin that lights this candle, they'll come back. And of course it happens, and now these sisters are in the real time now. Really fun movie if you've never seen it. This is the Hunchback of Notre Dame. A lot of these, they have, most of them are Blu-ray DVD that come in Blu-ray cases. Well, Disney put out some where it was Blu-ray DVD, but they came out in DVD cases. So a lot of these, I had to kind of get a case by itself and flip the whole thing over. Kind of annoying, but what could you do? John Carter. Didn't really like that one, to tell you the truth. The Jungle Book, like I was saying, they took people from the Jungle Book and put them into Tailspin. This is Mowgli is a young human that gets taken in by who is it? Bagheera, who's a panther, and then he meets Baloo, and then you find Shere Khan and King Louie and stuff. This is two movies in one. It's with Lilo and Stitch, and then Lilo and Stitch 2, Stitch has got an itch. Well, Stitch is a alien that comes to Earth and befriends Lilo. And then the second one, you find out that there's so many experiments. That's what Stitch is, and it's an experiment. You find out there's like 500 other experiments that get brought to the Earth, and now they're looking for all his cousins, and then they made a spin-off cartoon, which I don't think they ever found all of them. This is right here. What do we have here? The Little Mermaid. Not, it's a one I liked, but it's not one of my favorites. I was never into, I was a boy, so I was never into, the princesses and Cinderella and stuff like that. I watched them and I enjoyed them, but they weren't like on my top. Like I'm sure a lot of girls, Little Mermaid and Cinderella and Snow White are up there for their favorites. Still haven't watched this one. I bought it, $1 Million Arm. I'm guessing it's about, I believe they bring in like Indian baseball players or something like that. Miracle, it's about the U.S. hockey team with their win in Russia that they weren't supposed to win. The Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian. I believe I have all the Narnia ones, but again, that's in a box set which I didn't take out. I enjoy this one a lot more than the remake that they put out last year. I'm sure not a lot of people knew about this movie until maybe the remake was, put out, and they're like, where the hell did this come from? But Pete's Dragon. Pete has a imaginary friend named Elliot, who happens to be a dragon that only he can see at points, and they end up running away from these evil people. They end up going to a town called Passamaquoddy, meeting this nice lady who kind of takes them in and takes care of them. This is another one from the Disney Movie Club. It's just two shorts Prep and Landing, and then Prep and Landing, Naughty and Nice. It's supposed to be a Christmas movie with elves and such. One of the newer ones, The Princess and the Frog. This is one of the latest cartoon versions. Disney got more into Pixar. This was one of the last cartoons. Race to Witch Mountain with The Rock and Anna Sophia Robb, and I forget the kid's name, but this is a remake to an early movie about aliens that are getting hunted by the humans, and The Rock, they get into Rock's cab in this one or something like that, and now he's pretty much protecting them. Robin Hood, one of my favorite cartoons, probably top 5 if I had one. Well, I do have a top 5, but this is up there. The Disney's adaptation of Robin Hood, played by animals. Secretariat, a true story about horse racing. This is another one. Secret of the Wings. This is a Tinkerbell movie. They have a whole bunch of these that are on the Disney Movie Club, so I ended up getting it. Like I said, there's not many movies that I didn't have, so that's the reason I got them. The Sorcerer's Apprentice. This is the Mickey's part of the Fantasia movie where Mickey is like the apprentice, and he ends up screwing around with stuff. Well, this is the live action adaptation of it. This is one of the first live action adaptations that they made. Then they made like Maleficent, which I'll get into and such. And then, like I said, Tangled. I didn't get into it, but this is what do you call it? Rapunzel's movie, like a Disney style of Rapunzel. So that was the ones that did not have slipcovers. So I'm going to try to fly through these ones. These are ones that do have slipcovers, and a lot of these, a lot of people would already know. Maybe if you don't, maybe if there's some as I come closer to the camera. Hi everyone. But anyway, here we go. The first one is The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. This is two short movies. One is about the Headless Horseman, and the other one is about a greedy little toad that has a stealing problem. Aladdin, for those of you who don't know, Aladdin finds a lamp and helps the genie. Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. This is about a book where the kid has bad luck, and for his one birthday he wants his bad luck to kind of get transported to everyone else in his family, and then they start having bad luck. Alice in Wonderland, where she ends up in like her own dream world or whatever you want to call it. These are a little far away. Bambi, for those of you who don't know, his mother gets killed and he's pretty much on his own. Bambi 2, I don't remember it that much. I know he has a family, I believe, already. I don't remember watching it. Beauty and the Beast. This is where Beauty's father gets kidnapped by the Beast that everybody knows about. She goes and saves him, and in exchange to let him free, she stays there, and then they kind of fall in love. Then you got Beauty and the Beast and Enchanted Christmas. It's just a Christmas version of that movie. And then you have the live-action version of Beauty and the Beast, which I definitely dug. I like the cartoon a little bit better just because it's the original, but, I do enjoy Emma Watson, and I enjoyed this one. So, the live action. Then you have Bedknobs and Broomsticks. This is an old school one where they get... I don't exactly remember how they end up into, like, this cartoon world, but they end up there somehow, but I don't remember it fully. This one I still have not watched. The Big Friendly Giant. This is another one based on a book. Big Hero 6. This one's fun with the little lenticular cover. It's pretty much about a group of superheroes, and Baymax 6, I believe, or Baymax something. It's about a group of superheroes, and along that line. Brave. This is a Scottish, I believe, tale of a girl whose mother gets transformed into a bear, and then she's pretty much trying to protect her. Like she goes to a witch, and she wasn't happy about it. A Bug's Life. This is where ants take over this colony, and one of the ants goes and finds a group of people to help out. Or no, that's not what that is. I'm thinking of ants. I forget exactly what it is then. No, it has to be. Grasshoppers take over the land or something like that. I forget which is which. No, this is with the grasshoppers. Now I'm getting confused with my movies. Cars. I also do have Cars 2 somewhere, and then Cars 3. They were all right. Not up there for my favorites, but they're all right. This is the Marvel side of Disney. Marvel Civil War. I got all the other, Thor and Captain America and stuff, but I have them in my normal collection. I don't know why I put this with the Disneys, but I did. This is Cinderella's live-action version with Elle Fanning in it, and she, everything that happens, she gets stuck by the spindle and she falls asleep. Dumbo, which is, a young elephant. The mother gets trapped in a cage because kids were messing with the, Dumbo, and she goes after him and she gets stuck in there. So now he's trying to, just hang out before he, she gets let loose. You have Finding Nemo and Finding Dory, the sequel to that. Pretty much it's about a young fish, the first one that gets abandoned or taken from the ocean, and now it's the father's going after him, and he finds Dory, and the second one is Dory trying to remember. Doctor Strange, I still have not sat down to watch this one. Another Marvel movie. Finest Hours, there's a couple of these I have not sat down to watch. This is one I got from my purchase from the Disney Movie Club, and that is Frankenweenie. This is where the young kid loses his dog, and he ends up bringing him back to life, and now it's like a Frankenstein dog. Disney's Frozen. Who doesn't know Frozen? Then you have The Good Dinosaur. This was alright. There's really not much dialogue in this one. The Great Mouse Detective. This is one that I liked a lot. Basil of Baker Street. It's almost like a Sherlock Holmes kind of deal, brought to life, like animal, like mouse version. The Guardians of the Galaxy, another Marvel type one. If you haven't seen it, what are you waiting for? Guardians of the Galaxy 2. This is another one I got from the Disney Movie Club. Just to get, I don't remember it too much. Home on the Range. I believe these cows, their farm is about to get taken over unless they do something. I forget what they have to do, but there's all these evil people in their way. But that's Home on the Range. Inside Out, about a young girl with all her emotions. You get into her head. You find out that every single person's emotion is a character in its own. Fun movie, I must say. You find out that there's a imaginary creature and all this stuff, and as her moods change, things start changing. Into the Woods, it's like a musical. That's what I was looking for. The Jonas Brothers. What is this? The Jonas Brothers 3D concert experience. This is one of those situations where I get a movie just to add to a collection. I'll show you another one. The Jungle Book, the live action version. This one was pretty good. They did have another Jungle Book years and years and years ago, but Disney had nothing to do with it. But the Jungle Book, that's one I actually want to find. I got The Lion King. Who hasn't seen The Lion King? Simba, and gets blamed for his father's death and then comes back, meets Timon and Pumbaa, which is this Lion King 1.5. Lion King 1.5. This is the original movie taken from Timon and Pumbaa's point of view. So it's like a remake, I guess you want to call it. But not. It has some of the original, but some different. I got to watch this one again just to see what's different about it. And then you got Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. This is where he has a daughter and Scar has a kid. And you find that out. The Lone Ranger, this one got a lot of heat. It was alright. I mean, not your typical Disney movie, but this is one of my favorites, Maleficent. This is a Cinderella taken to a different place. This is, you get, Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty's, the evil witch in Sleeping Beauty. Get her perspective of it, why she's evil and why she turned out the way she did. I like that one a lot. Mars Needs Moms are all right, where the aliens come down from Mars to take over or take the moms from Earth. This one I still have not watched yet. McFarlane USA. Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas and Twice Upon a Christmas. I thought this was a Mickey's Christmas Carol, but it wasn't. This was a version of it, but not the original. I don't know. It was different than. I thought it was a Mickey's Christmas Carol, but this has Once Upon a Christmas and Twice Upon a. The second one is like that version of animation now that is just a little bit too odd for me. Monsters University. This I think is a little bit better than the first one. I dug this one. Usually I don't. Usually the original is what I like the most, but this one's different, and I like this one a little bit more, where you find Sully and Mike in college, and you find out how they became friends. Mulan, about a girl who joins the army against her father's will and such, because women aren't allowed to join. The Muppet Treasure Island and the Muppet Caper, or Great Muppet Caper. I love all these Muppet TV shows or movies from back then. The Muppets. This is the updated version of it, where they're trying to bring them back. They bring back the variety show and all that stuff. Then the second one, Muppets Most Wanted, where you find out that Kermit has an evil twin. Classic Nightmare Before Christmas. This is a movie you can watch either for Halloween or Christmas. It's like a dual threat. Some movies that are holiday set, I guess you want to call it, could only be for one holiday. You could watch this at both, where Jack Skellington kind of gets annoyed with just doing Halloween stuff, so he ends up kidnapping Santa Claus and making his own Christmas. The Odd Life of Timothy Green. This one's pretty good, where a family is having trouble having kids, so they make a wish and they plant it into the garden or something, or they rip it up and it gets planted in the garden and the kid emerges. Pinocchio, you don't know Pinocchio. It's a wooden boy that comes to life, and then he's trying to become a real boy. This is a UK box set of the Pirates of the Caribbean. This is 4 of the movies. What is it? The Curse of the Black Pearl, Dead Man's Chest, Outworld's End, On Stranger Tides, and then the newest one that I still have not checked out was Dead Men Tell No Tales. I still have to check that one out. Planes, and then Planes, Fire and Rescue. They were alright. They were along the lines of like Cars, but it's planes. I don't know. Not my kind of Disney movie, but I'm not saying they're bad. Prince of Persia I just bought at a Blockbuster because it was going out of business, and I got it for real cheap. It was supposed to be taken from the game. I don't remember. I played the game here and there, but I don't know how closely related to the game it is. Prom. This is like a Disney teen movie, I guess you want to call it. This is the sequels to Aladdin. It's the Aladdin Return of Jafar and the King of Thieves. I don't know why the King of Thieves is above Return of the Jafar, because Return of the Jafar is the direct sequel to it. This is with John Travolta and Robin Williams and Seth Green. Old Dogs. I don't remember what this is. I know Seth Green works for one of them, and they're head honchos, and they're losing touch with their family. This has 3 movies in it. It's got Oliver and Company, The Fox and the Hound, and The Fox and the Hound 2. So it's a triple feature. This one's pretty cool. Oliver and Company is about a young kitten who gets brought in by a rich family and then stolen, and he befriends these street dogs. And then Oliver and Fox and the Hound is where a fox named, what the hell is it? Escaping me now. What the hell are the names? I was just about to say Buttons and Rusty, but that's something complete. Todd and Copper. Todd is the fox, and then Copper is the dog, and then they're not supposed to be friends, but they end up being friends. Oz the Great and Powerful. This is another sequel to. No, this is a prequel. That's supposed to be a prequel where you find out who the Wizard of Oz is. It was alright. as all my movies fall over the place. This, like I said, I did not like that much. I guess it kind of brought light to the old school one. But Pete's Dragon, this is the live animated one, which has nothing to do... Well, actually, the first one was live animated too, but this has nothing to do with the original one. That's why I didn't like it as much. Pocahontas, the story of, the settlers going on the Indian land and stuff. Snow White, if you don't know, she is a princess that runs away from being killed, and she runs into 7 dwarves. Sleeping Beauty, this is where the girl is threatened or destined to prick her finger on a spindle and then fall asleep forever unless there's a prince comes. The short films collection, this one's pretty cool. It has all the short films, a lot of the short films that Disney puts out, and they put it on just one thing. It has those 2 elves in it now that I'm looking at it. I think this one also has the, I don't know if it does now, but there's one with like a paper or something that 2 people fall in love. I like this one a lot. Saving Mr. Banks, this is the backstory to Mary Poppins. Tomorrowland, this is like set in the future about, I guess it's almost like a Walt Disney World kind of. It's for all the imaginative people in the world, and they all take all those people and put them into one place. Disney's Tinkerbell and the Legend of the Never Beast. This is another one where I got just for the Disney Movie Club. And then let's try to end this quickly. The Three Musketeers, this is the Disney version of it where it's Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. Tarzan, it's the Disney's version of Tarzan. A group of people go into the jungle and they find a little kid who's been brought up by monkeys or gorillas. Toy Story and Toy Story of Terror. These are the shorts for Toy Story. This is Toy Story That Time Forgot. They're about 25 minutes too. I got them just to add to the collection, but they were kind of, like I said, $15 for like 25 minutes or something like that. Winnie the Pooh. This is the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh that... no, actually, I don't think this one is. This one's just another version of it. Wreck-It Ralph. This is, quickly growing up my chain of movies I love. It's about video games, and the Wreck-It Ralph is like an evil character, or in the game he's an evil character, so in real life or video game life, not a lot of people like him, and he ends up wanting to be liked and known, so he ends up going into different games, which causes a whole bunch of stuff. Zootopia, this one's really cool, about a young rabbit who wants to become a police officer, but she's a small little rabbit, and everyone laughs at her, and it's her, determination to become one. The 101 Dalmatians and 101 Dalmatians 2. What is this? Patch's London Adventure. The one where, first one is where two people meet. They both have Dalmatians. They breed, and they end up having 101 puppies, and now the one person's boss is after these puppies to make a coat, and it's them trying to get away. So that right there was my entire Disney collection, besides a few. Like I said, I got the Mighty Ducks triple feature, and then I got a few others that I forgot to take out. But for the most part, that is my entire Disney collection. I'm going to try to do this, maybe once a year or something like that. Depends on, how many movies I get to add to the collection. But if you check out my one from 2010, this is, a lot bigger than it was then. So, like I said, if you made it through the entire video, thank you very much. If you have friends that are Disney movie collectors, share the video. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button, and check the description for all my other social media. I got a Facebook fan page, I got a Twitter, I got a Horrormino, I got an Instagram where I show off the movies behind me. I got a whole bunch of stuff. So check out the description. And again, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And I guess that's about it. So hopefully you enjoyed this. And until next time, I'll see you guys.